Greetings to all of you Internetians. This is Piano Bar Live, where we all connect with live music. The show starts now. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Scott. So good to see you.
Nice to hear you, Joe.
Thank you.
You're our jazz man tonight. That's working perfect for me.
I'm glad to be that guy.
I'm glad to see you. And you're down in Atlanta, right? With everybody, your family?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Joe, you were working everywhere in New York before all of this. I know we had you many times at the Iridium, and it was always a pleasure to have you there. Sometimes Houston person, and a few other people came in with you. Always amazing sets. Birdland, Blue Note, all of those places, and you'll be back in them soon enough. But I'm curious because you went to NYU.
Yes.
You got your degree at NYU. And I'm curious, like when you first got to New York, what were some of the places that you'd go out to when you were, bouncing around on your time off when you weren't studying?
Well, it's funny because actually, that song I purposely picked because I think first, it's the song that got me into jazz. There's the part in the song where it goes, and I heard Ahmad Jamal, he went, and I thought that was the coolest thing I had ever heard. So I was thinking about, shows I had seen at the Iridium, seeing Ahmad Jamal there, seeing Hank Jones there. I loved going to the Village Vanguard to see Bill Charlap and Cedar Walton and late night. It was really a special experience because I felt like a lot of the times I'd be learning about people during the day, and then I'd go see them at night and tell them what I learned about them, and they tell me the truth.
And there's always that truth, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to have that mystery, and the story is part of the show.
Yeah.
For a lot of those guys. What was the last show that you did up in New York?
So I was actually, interestingly, I was at the Blue Note on Sunday, March 8th. And it was definitely that week that, I did a Sunday brunch. I'm pretty sure that by the next Sunday, they did not have any more brunches happening.
Right.
At that point, I flew up and people were saying, "You sure you want to fly up?" And I did. And I'm glad I did because I haven't been able to do much. And
right. You did that last gig at the Blue Note.
Yeah.
And now you've been down there, and the next number that you're going to do is actually an original tune that you put together. It's yours.
Yeah.
And can you give me and the audience kind of an idea of what inspired you? What was how did you do that? Where did it come from?
Yeah. Well, so the tune is called Georgia's Sunset, and it's truthfully just about a sunset here in Georgia. I say that because when I put this on one of my albums, I did a few radio interviews, and people said, "So your time in Georgia's done?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" They said, your time in Georgia's sunsetting. And I never thought of that. So I thought I just need to clarify that it's just about a sunset. But truthfully, it's a special song to me because growing up down here in Atlanta, all I wanted to do when I was growing up down here is sound like a, quote, New York jazz piano player. And then I moved to New York, and I realized that really what makes me special is I grew up down here in Georgia, and I was influenced by country music. I heard a lot of the jazz repertoire, not a lot of it, but a good bit of it at a bluegrass festival up in Dahlonega, Georgia. And I realized that I should not shun those influences, but really embrace them. And this is probably the first song I did that kind of, you'll hear a little Georgia in it.
Excellent. Well, Joe, take it away.
All right.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been great to have you here. You ain't going anywhere. You're not going into the sunset yet.
Not yet, not yet.
No, you'll be back. So, listen, thank you very much. We're going to move on with the show, but keep in touch. You've got a couple of albums that I know that you've worked on. I'm assuming that you're working on something else at the moment, and I can't wait to hear it.
Yes, well, I hope you'll have a listen to my most recent. It's called More Cornbread.
More cornbread. All right.
But thank you so much. So good
You're
to see
very
you.
welcome, Joe. Take it easy, my friend.
Oh, you too.
All right. Hey, Tony, we have another guest back there by the name of Karen Oberlin.
Hey.
There she is.
Hi, Scott.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm well.
Good to see you. Yeah, no, I understand. We're all well.
Yeah, I hope you are too.
What it's all about. So, I've known you for a good long while, and I think I met you the first time. I think when we were doing some events over at Dylan's at the Reprise Room. I think one of the first times I met you, you did one of the Seagulls CD release parties down there.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I had been there in Our Sinatra off Broadway in that space too.
Right, it was before I was there. I was down at the duplex then, but and that was great. And I've been following you ever since. And you've appeared in numerous times at the Iridium.
Many times. Yeah.
And always great shows, always well constructed and intelligent, and you know, just spot on stuff.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. You also have a Mabel Mercer Donald Smith Award, right?
I do. Yeah. That was a big surprise, and you know, a great honor because it was tying in my teaching and directing and everything, just sort of contributing to this world that we love so dearly.
Indeed. And of course, one of the exciting bits of news this week, because it's always news packed, isn't it? Is that they're going to be doing a virtual cabaret convention. So that is the good news for us people in this business. You know, because everybody's figuring out a way to keep it going, keep our visibility and all of that. You have a show coming up on Sunday, right?
Yeah, this is my first venture with Facebook Live. Ted Firth is actually coming into this space right here. Here's my piano. And he and I are just going to do a set. We're just now entering the 20th year of our collaboration. We've had so many shows. And
I love the title of the show.
Karen and Ted turning 20.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
We wish, right? But yeah, just sort of revisiting treasured moments that we've had in shows with little bits of stories here and there. I don't know, about an hour probably.
A retrospective, so to speak.
Yeah, but we're going to keep it, just sort of fun and open. So
excellent. It'll be nice to see you and Ted together.
Yeah, it's
great. He played this track for you that we're going to use, right?
Yeah.
So take it away, Karen. Have a good time.
Come on, Ted, do your thing.
Don't forget to toggle.
Oh, toggle. Hold on.
You got to remember the toggle.
Don't forget the. See, I knew I was going to forget it.
It's okay.
Here we go. Thank you, Tony. And now I have to get back to, there we go. This is the story of Hamlet, William Shakespeare's most notable play. A magnificent, dignified work of art. But for you, Buster, I guess I ought to tell it this way. Hamlet was the prince of a spot called Denmark. There never was such a frantic guy, either before or since. He was a dream boy, and like a hole in the head, Denmark needed this prince. So he cut down his uncle, and he Mickey finned his mother, and he drove his girl to suicide and stabbed her big brother, 'cause he didn't want nobody else but himself should live. He was what you might call uncooperative.
Take that!
See what I mean? Hamlet had a lady friend named Ophelia. She was a cool, put-together chick that made men thrill. But Hamlet, he thought she was from Uglyville. He didn't seem to get the message. So he chopped down her father just to teach the girl a lesson. Cut him up in slices like a pound of delicatessen. Because murder was one thing Hamlet sure did enjoy.
Sure did enjoy.
He was, how shall I say, quite the mischievous boy.
To be.
Not to be. Ophelia, overcome with such grief and sorrow, she went and flipped her lid, she popped the cork, she jumped the track, and her intelligent mind developed a permanent crack. Things went black. Ladies and gentlemen, Ted Firth. I'll do a little performance art here. Ophelia had a 6.5-foot brother who thought that Hamlet had been a trifle too impolite. So it was in the third act he challenged him to a fight. What a night! Well, it was dog eat dog in Denmark. He's up, he's down, he's down, he's up, he's down. Dog eat dog in Denmark. He's left, he's right, he's left. The moral of the story is very plain. You better get a muzzle if you got a Great Dane. And the name of this omelet is Hamlet.
Nice. A little Shakespeare. Toggle off.
Toggle off. And I'm back.
And that's great. And you look great, by the way. Really.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say.
Doing well with we all find what we have to do to be doing this at this moment. You actually have you're sequestered there with 2 wonderful family members, right?
Yeah, and you won't believe that the youngest among us is now 17. Remember when he was sitting on that little stool in the Iridium, singing with Karen Kohler in the Sammy Kahn night?
Yes, I do.
He was this big. And now we're taking virtual college tours. It
And
goes by so quickly.
And he's in the business.
He's a student, a senior at LaGuardia High School, which is going to be an interesting year, at least to start out. We're really trying hard to get these kids back to performing, like all of us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But he has a good support system there with the two of you. So
we're lucky we like each other, right?
yeah, it's good. I mean, I've said this again, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. One of the things, if it can be good coming out of all of this, is the kids are home a little bit more, and
absolutely,
you get to have that. They get to have that quality time with their parents. That I didn't spend that much because I was running around like a lot of us when we were younger. So this is fabulous. And I hope that everybody will tune in on Sunday. What time is the show?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. on Facebook Live on your channel, on your Facebook.
You can get
page.
there from mine. I'll post the link.
Excellent.
So I don't know. Maybe I should have used StreamYard, but I'm going to do Facebook.
No, you should do Facebook to start.
Hey.
You got it.
Yeah.
StreamYard is when you have guests and that kind of thing, you can advance to that if that's something that you want to do. Yep.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks, Tony. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And one last thing, Karen, you were part of that, the Julie Wilson night. And that was another special night that we had at Iridium. And thank you, because that night is one that lives in my memory.
That was a beautiful night. I was so happy to be part of it.
Anybody that wasn't there, you missed it. It was the night went on until about 1 o'clock in the morning before we broke up. It was late, and Julie was like in charge. She was there the whole way through.
Yes, she was. Yeah,
singing and enjoying herself, and that was a really amazing evening. So, Karen, thank you for coming to visit with us at PBL.
Everybody, stay healthy.
Send the word out.
I will.
Tony, it's time for the corner.
It's time already? I've just been having such a great time. I completely forgot about it, but I can do it.
Do it now.
I'll do it now. Okay, everybody. So what's this corner that he's talking about? Well, it's my chance to introduce myself, especially after I just popped into the stream by surprise to everyone. My name is Tony Javid. I am associate producer for those who had not seen the show before. And I just love to take the opportunity to welcome you to our weekly shindig known as Piano Bar Live, where we connect with live music. This is our 48th show, if you can believe it. I can believe it. Why? Because our viewers are the best. Whether you're on Broadway on demand, whether you're on Facebook, or whether you're watching us on YouTube, you have been keeping the chats lit up, keeping it really lively and wonderful. But of course, as you can see by the scroll below, the other huge way that we are able to keep going and growing is through your tips. So please give what you can to our virtual tip bowl. The information is down below. You can give to Venmo or to PayPal. And again, it's what keeps us going. And speaking of connecting with live music and making do, I'm particularly excited about tonight. Just because I feel like we're highlighting so many people who are making do and making the most of this moment. We're only one of many who connect people with live music, and so we're going to be talking about that quite a bit, I think, through this show. So without any further ado, again, please give so we can keep this party going week after week after week. But for now, I want to introduce one of the folks who is helping people connect with live music. We're going to find out a lot more about how this gentleman is doing that on the flip side, but I don't want to get in the way anymore of the wonderful music that he has in store for you. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our good friend, Paul Errico.
Yeah. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck if you've ever been a lady to begin with. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck, little gentlemen, see how nice a dame you can be. I know you've been with other guys, you've been before me, so luck be a lady with me. A lady doesn't leave her escort. It isn't fair, it isn't nice. A lady doesn't wander all over the room and blow on some other guy's dice. So let's keep the party polite. Never get out of my sight. Stick with me, baby, I'm the fella you came in with. So luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. All right.
Hey, so I think hey, Paul, that was terrific.
Thank you.
Do we have, well, not a surprise, but maybe a surprise to folks who haven't been introduced to you before. Do we have I'm going to bring Scott in.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, Scott.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
We've
And
got-
we're going to talk about an event that's coming up.
That's right.
That's very important. It's going to be something that brings people joy in this current time, and part of it's a major part of it has to do with dance and ballroom dancing.
That's right.
And the group that that you're going to be working with and playing for is Dancing Classrooms.
That's correct.
Tony, you want to is Nancy in the back there?
She sure is, and I just have a feeling she might have something to say about this event.
I think I'd like to bring her on.
There she is.
How'd you know? Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Paul, you're sounding great.
Thank you. I was going to invite people to get up and dance. I mean, I'm hoping. I got that vibe that people will just push the chairs out of the way, out of the kitchen, and
I know, that's what we want, because
Yeah.
a week from today,
Well,
from
a week from
tomorrow,
today, a
we're
week
going to
from
be having a
Wednesday.
dance party here on StreamYard, thanks to Scott and Tony and Paul.
So,
Everybody, I'm the executive director of Dancing Classrooms, and we are hosting the virtual Mad Hot Ball on September 23rd at 7 p.m. free and open to the public. And Paul Errico and his trio are going to be giving us live music for the last half hour of our night. So you'll get to mambo, cha-cha, waltz, swing your heart's desire.
that's
for
right.
22 and a half minutes. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Nancy, would you be able to just share a little bit about the mission? I mean, the event already sounds awesome to everyone, I'm sure, but what's even more awesome is what it's really supporting, I think.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Dancing Classrooms has been around for 26 years. We cultivate essential life skills in about 16,000 New York City public school students every year through the joyful practice of social dance. We are the Mad Hot Ball people from the famous documentary from back in 2005. We teach thousands and thousands of kids how to tango and swing and shake what their mamas gave them, and how to connect with one another, how to express their inner joy, how to approach one another with empathy and respect and kindness through dance.
extremely important.
Very.
It's
More
an
connecting
extremely
with live
important thing.
music.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we're figuring out ways of doing that virtually to
We
keep
are.
it going, and it's a fundraiser for the organization.
That's right. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year. And like many that I'm sure you've heard about, our fundraiser was supposed to be at the Pierre Hotel, featuring Paul and his full orchestra, and guests there to dance the night away at this iconic ballroom. And this year, due to COVID, we've taken the party online and in everyone's living rooms. But we have a terrific MC, BB Newworth, who's a great friend of the organization. She is going to be our host for the evening. We have a terrific premier ballroom performance happening for VIPs who are able to donate at the $500 level and above, and a mixology lesson. But the program that's open and free to the public will engage everyone in live music from Paul and his trio, dancing, stories from our students, and hearing from our amazing honorees.
It's an amazing program. I have to tell you, one of my favorite things that I learned about, or one of the events that you had, was prior to all of everybody being sequestered a while back. There was actually a moment where you were able to get Israeli children and Palestinian children to ballroom dance, and
yeah,
that's an amazing thing to even think about. We're so thrilled to have you here and to be ready for you next Wednesday. Folks, we're going to put the link of how you can watch, and also because look, music, singing and dance and all is part of the same world. Spread that word to your friends about the event, and give what you can to support this group that is keeping something very vital alive and going and rolling.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're going to need it more than ever through this pandemic and on the other side. And we're continuing to teach young people remotely, online, in lots and lots of different ways. And so you can learn more about that next week. And
there's also a new dance, right? Is that something
being
introduced?
We have created, our theme is stepping into the future, which we had actually crafted before the pandemic hit. Lo and behold, we are stepping into the future in ways we never thought we would. So we've created a Step into the Future line dance that we're going to teach everybody. It incorporates a lot of the movements that we teach our kids. So, a little merengue, we got a little salsa shine, we've got a little boogie walk. So everybody can get up on their feet and learn a new move.
Oh, you'll want to. It's a lot of fun.
So, folks, if you are going to be around and you're going to join the stream on Wednesday and do all that, put your dancing shoes on, because part of it is going to be Paul. He's not going to have the full orchestra, obviously, but there will be a combo, small as a trio.
Quartet altogether,
for the event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quartet.
I'm catching up still, but it's live music that you'll be playing that people at home will be able to, if you're sequestered together, dance together. And this is really important to keep everybody feeling some sort of norm during this time. And it's really appreciated, Nancy and Paul. We can't wait for the event.
Oh, looking forward to it. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you all, gentlemen, so much. It's going to be a great night.
Thank you for inviting us to work with you. It's been wonderful, and I can't wait for next week.
We couldn't have found better collaborators.
Thanks, and we're looking forward to seeing all the kids.
Same here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right.
See you guys soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
So we're at a point in the show now where I'm going to get a chance to introduce somebody who I've known for a very long time, is become quite successful in what she's doing, and has always supported live entertainment at all the levels that it exists. But currently is definitely been involved in the Broadway community, and her name is Jamie deRoy.
Hi, Scott.
Hi, Jamie.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. You're there in that busy office of yours?
Well, it's been busier, let me tell you.
you know what? It'll get busy again.
No, I know.
Um,
Well, you know what? We've been busy with, because I have, this TV show that's on every other week, and now I can't promote Broadway and off Broadway anymore. But what I can do is I can we have archives for 30 some years. And so I've been doing all kinds of stuff, going into the archives and doing theme shows. And the last couple have been gone but not forgotten. So not only do I get to revisit some of the guests, but some of the guests that we can't revisit anymore. And it's really been kind of very moving and fun. I mean, Henny Youngman, and there's so many people. Steve Allen will be coming up, Julie Wilson. We have unfortunately lost so many people over the years, and so many talents. So, I've been doing a few of those, and I'll just do some from the archives. And, I don't know if you know, but I've been giving a songwriting award through the ASCAP Foundation, and I think it's now 13 years. So I'm going to put together a show of those songwriters and put my favorite song of each one of them. So there's 13 songs right there. So that might end up, a show or two in itself.
Yeah, you have an amazing amount of stuff archived. And some of that is obviously also from your collaboration with Bradshaw Smith,
right?
And the beginnings of when we first started taping shows and videotaping shows. I remember a lot of places didn't want to because they said, "Well, if you're taping it, why is anybody going to come in and see the show?" And it's like that wasn't exactly the way it worked out. What it did is it brought a lot of eyes to see what we were doing and more people into the actual spaces.
I was guilty of the same thing. I was asked to do I guess it was kind of a showcase one time up at Steve McGraw's, and these people were videotaping, and I was very nervous about, well, what's it going to be used for? And, little did I know that that's what I would end up doing. And every once in a while, somebody will say to me, "I don't want you to use it because maybe it's a magic act and they don't want to give the trick away, or it's a comedy, right. It's a comedy act and it's they're breaking in material." Like when Mike Birbiglia was on as a guest, he said you can use a little part of it, but if you use the whole thing, people won't understand because I'm breaking in new material. And then I ended up getting I became a co-producer on his Broadway show called The New One. I think he's such a talent. But I mean, there are so many talented performers out there. It's amazing.
And talented producers, which is what you you did. Well, you've got 7 Tony Awards. Is that right?
Yep. And we are actually going to have a Tony Awards this year. It's going to be virtual. So I don't have to worry about a gown this year. I don't have to get my hair done, but I'm glad that they're honoring the season, that went, and the cutoff date is sometime at the end of February. So it's not going to be every show you've ever seen, because some of them will be pushed into the next Tony Awards. But my God, there is shows like the Tina Turner musical, The Inheritance, Jagged Little Pill. There's so many wonderful shows that should be honored and shouldn't have to wait for an entire year. Who would ever think that Broadway would be dark that long? And I think it's going to be till at least March, if not beyond. And we stopped on March 12th. My last live show was Jamie deRoy and Friends for Primary Stages. It was a benefit for Primary Stages where every performer had performed at Primary Stages. Tyne Daly was one of them. I produced a show with her and Tim Daly at the Cherry Lane Theater. But Tyne Daly and I went to school together when I first came to New York. We went to AMDA. So she said to me, "Why don't we do that duet?" And I remember singing a duet with you, but I don't remember what it was, but she remembered, and it was Marry the Man Today. And so I had to relearn it, but it was so much fun to work with her again. It was just great.
That's one of the things too, is that of the many hats that you've worn, you've also been a performer.
Right.
Which
being on, I forget that.
well, being on stage gives you the ability to know what you're expecting other people to be involved in when they're on that stage, even if it's, you know, you just kind of know what that feeling is going to be like. We actually have some footage of a song that you've performed, and we're going to roll
at the Birdland Theater with Ron Abel and Richie Goods, the musicians, and that was the Birdland Theater. Now they're doing some kind of live events. But
they're actually doing amazing work now because
fantastic. But you know, we're not allowed to have audiences inside yet, so they've been doing some anyway. But that's from this theater when it was kind of on the newish side.
Excellent. So Tony, would you roll this song?
Richie, thank you to Birdland, and we'll leave you with this little ditty.
1, 2, 3.
I was packing my gear after a festival appearance. The show had gone real good, when a bunch of people with a kind of earthy smell said, "We're staying out in these woods. We'd like you to join us. There's plenty of room. We got a nice big tent and there's a big full moon." I stood upwind and said the only thing that I could. Yeah, I had to tell him, Jews don't camp if it hasn't got a kitchen and it isn't air conditioned. Where's the exit ramp? Get my walking shoes. Jews don't camp. Well, it's really quite simple. It's part of my tradition, taught to me in my youth. After 40 years in the desert, the 11th commandment is go to bed under a roof. I'm fairly certain I could live without real bear hugs. I'm not keen to be cuisine for a $500,000 bugs. 10 times out of 10, I pick bagels over berries and roots. Yeah, I had to tell him, Jews don't camp. If it hasn't got a lobby, I don't want it for a hobby. If it's cold and damp, let me give you the news. Jews don't camp. La, la, la. If I were a rich man, I would love to kitchen and get my water from a stream. But until there's seltzer in the brook, or maybe a nice egg cream, Jews don't camp. Using leaves instead of Charmin may be fine if you're a Mormon, but I'm not that stamp, so I hate to refuse. Jews don't camp. La la la, oi la la la. La la la, oi la la la. If your sleeping bag is tilting, you can find me at the Hilton, 'cause Jews don't camp. If you're tired of your diet, come and join me at the Hyatt, 'cause Jews don't camp. I get highs and start to break out when there isn't Chinese takeout. Yeah, Jews don't camp.
Ha! Well, okay, first we just have to say apologies because David Buskin wrote this and the lyric is supposed to be, if I were a Gentile, not if I were a rich man.
Right.
Oh my God, that's what it's a parody of. But anyway, the joys of live performing.
For the great outdoors as well. Which would be like the mall parking lot, maybe on the way in. You know, but so Jamie, you're originally from Pittsburgh.
I am.
Squirrel Hill in Pittsburgh. So you may not have been going to camp out, but how about Kennywood? Did you do the rides and the whole scene at Kennywood?
Well, I loved most of the rides at Kennywood, but I never was into the, scary rides, never. But I was in Pittsburgh recently, like in January 24th, I was there and I went to the History Center and they had some signs from Kennywood Park. And one of them was a little sign. It was a cutout and it said, if you're this tall, you can ride, this ride. And of course, I'm much taller, but when I was little, I couldn't wait to make it to the top of that sign. But we used to do those cars where you bumper cars, they were called. That I loved that, but
Right.
I didn't like the Ferris wheel was even a little scary for me, but I did it. But the really scary rides, forget about.
I think there must have been something in that water in Pittsburgh that brought a lot of people into the cabaret world. Aaron Lee Battle, Ricky Ritzel. I mean, there's a good solid list of people that came out of Pittsburgh.
There are so many people. And, once there was a huge picture taken on the steps at Times Square, Duffy Square, the beautiful red steps. So they asked anybody who had either grown up in Pittsburgh and was in show business, had gone to school in Pittsburgh, but you had to be working in the business. And we all met at Duffy Square. And I'm seeing people like, I didn't know you were from Pittsburgh. Tom Viola, Scott Barnes, people that, I've known and worked with, but did not know them from there. So I was not aware of it. I think once I ran into Tom Viola on a plane going to Pittsburgh. But yeah, there's a lot. Talent pool from Pittsburgh is huge.
Yeah, there are certain places that a God stuck a pin, and it's like it just happened to be whatever it was, it worked. And that talent, a lot of it came to New York early in the, the piano bars. Our audience is piano bars and cabaret. We know you as a Broadway producer and working on all of the different groups that you're involved with, keeping the business rolling. But you had a nice career early on in the cabaret rooms where you started, and you traveled with the show and all. You told me, I know that you and Ricky Ritzel
this is
did
the
a
most
tour.
unbelievable thing. I booked us into a room in Sacramento. I had never been to the room, so I was a little nervous. So Ricky and I flew out, and we drove to the club. I said, I wanted to look around old Sacramento, but I thought before we did that, we should see the club because none of us had been there. So we go to the club, and the owner it's noon, and he's already drunk. And so, but he's showing us around the club. It was a beautiful club. The dressing room was great. The stage was great. Everything was great. But I said to him, I just have one question. Where's the piano? And he said to me, I thought you were bringing it to Sacramento.
Brilliant.
I said I'd bring the piano player, but not the piano. So I said to Ricky, you know what? We're going into town. We're renting a piano. There can't be more than one piano rental place. If he rents it, they can cancel my credit card.
There you go. And the show must go on, of course.
It did. And by the way, he didn't rent it. I did.
So, Jamie, just curious because you probably have had, you're thinking about what the plans are and how you're planning to move forward, and the community is going to move forward. Are there any projects that you can give me give our audience a head up on that are coming our way? I know that there's stuff that's being done now that's some virtual. We actually have a group coming on a little later in the show that's working on, a virtual and live streamed Broadway show or off Broadway show. So is there anything that you've got in the works that you're looking forward to for 2021?
I'm a supporter of primary stages in general, but specifically one of the shows I had co-produced for them was The Tribute Artist, which was Charles Busch. And they are bringing that back. The cast is a little different. It's going to be virtually, and it will be just 5 performances only, September 30th for 5 performances. So, something like that. I'm working on something that I can't talk about. It's too soon. But hopefully it'll come to fruition. But, these new musicals, they take years. So, I'll believe it when I see it, but it's got great songs. So we'll see. And, but I put somebody in touch with a lead producer. I don't want to be the lead producer necessarily. And, I have so many shows that I can't wait for them to reopen, like Ain't Too Proud and Tina Turner. And, Company, which never got to open yet, and the Lehman trilogy was one of the best plays I've ever seen in my life. And so, you know, there's plays that we left on the board. To Kill a Mockingbird, you know, plays that were just, everything was dumped. So, you know, I started to tell you on the March 11th was my show, and March 12th is the day that that Broadway closed. Julie Halston was on the show, and she got up at the microphone and said, "Well, apparently we're all going to die tonight." And we were all trying to like not even go there because it was like a scary moment. We did not know what to make of it.
And here we are now, 8 months, 7 months, 8 months later, and figuring out how to get out of it. But Jamie, I've known you for a very long time. I want to let you know from the bottom of my heart, you've always supported the little guy, as well as where you've gone in the world with all of your projects and the Broadway stuff. You're always working, going to the clubs, interviewing, you know, doing stuff to promote things that happen at Feinstein's, 54 Below, and at Birdland, and that is really appreciated by the community.
Well, thank you. Well, and I hope we'll get back to it soon. It feels so odd not to be able to go out and see, you know, a play, a musical, a movie, a cabaret show, a concert. I live across the street practically from Carnegie Hall, and I can't even go there. I mean, it's just so sad. And who could have ever thought that we would be in this position in our lives? If I wrote it in a script, they would look at it and say, it's unbelievable. No one's going to buy it.
Right. Exactly. Meanwhile, Carnegie Hall is even streaming. So they're showing old shows. So can you tell me, what do you have on Sunday coming up?
On Sunday coming up? Well, last Sunday I went to Miscast, which I never miss. My show isn't on this Sunday. It was just on last Sunday.
You had a great group of people. Again, it's all memories and previous shows, but performances. But
I mean, we had Kay Ballard and Henny Youngman, and it's, you know, it's just all, where there a guy by the name of Harold Wren who used to tell the funniest stories. And I don't know exactly who's going to be on next week. It's maybe going to be Steve Allen. And you know, we're working on it, because a lot of times I get the tape to him, and Russell Boutelet does my show, so that if it was copied wrong or transferred wrong, because speaking of changes, you know, we started with VHS, then we went to Super VHS, then we went to DV Cam, and now we're like in a chip. So, I mean, there's so many different formats, and I have to deal with all of them. I don't have any of the chips, but you know, I have all those original VHS, Super VHS, and DV Cams, and Russell doesn't even have a Super VHS thing that he can transfer. I have to do it.
Right.
So, and those tapes sometimes get, you know, they don't last so well.
Yeah. So for the youngins out there, those people that don't know all of these names that you just heard, watch Jamie deRoy and Friends, see what's there, and then go and really investigate. I mean, Steve Allen, Henny Youngman, all of that stuff that you want to see is on YouTube as well. People can go and really dig in to these people. And remember something, you youngins, it's all been done. It's just being redone. Everything old is new. And if you haven't seen some of the comedy routines of the past, they are well worth seeing.
Henny Youngman, you know, I knew him from the Friars, and he came to my show, and I didn't know he was coming. And I went up to him and I said, Henny, do you want to do a set? And he said, do you want me to? And I was like, do I want you to? Are you kidding me? And it was so funny, and it's all one-liners, and he's just brilliant. But, you know, over time, I have Kitty Carlisle Hart and Celeste Holm and Polly Bergen and Julie Wilson and Margaret Whiting. Oh, last week Anne Francine was on. Julie Kernis, who was hysterical. I mean, unfortunately, we've just lost too many great people, but at least, we can remember them by just putting them out there.
It's a wealth of performance that you've accumulated for everybody to see again. And again, if you haven't seen it before, it's like brand new. Honestly, some of these acts hold up time-wise, you can watch them. So we're going to move on with the show now, but Sunday night, send the information to us. We'll push it out, and keep up. Just keep up supporting everything that you're doing, Jamie, and we'll be there for you when we can get back out into the actual spaces again.
Sometimes my show does repeat, so it might be on Sunday. They just never tell me. But it will be on the following Sunday, September 27th at 7:30 on Spectrum TV. And it's on a lot of channels. So hopefully it's on my website. Who the hell knows?
That's all right.
I'm so lazy.
It's all right. So enjoy the rest of the evening. And thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Tony, are you there?
I'm always here. The show couldn't possibly go on without me.
How's things going back there in the green room?
They're great. There's not enough hairspray in the world to keep this back. Hopefully we will have remedied this for next week. Very important to the show, of course.
Yeah, no, it's all important. The look is important. So I just want to remind everybody, I apologize. I see people on the thread. I do not multitask by answering the thread, but I do go on after the show and watch the shows and respond to the thread. I did see Therese Janecko in the house. I think I see Shecky. Mr. Warren Shine is in the house. Warren, by the way, is getting ready to do a project which I think will interest a lot of people, and it does flash back to a lot of those moments in the comedy world that are classic, that if you haven't seen them, is brand new. Everything is, coming back. Please help support what we're doing with our shows by going to Venmo and PayPal, dropping a little something. All of you folks that have been in the piano bars know that actually matters. We don't care what the amount is, $5, $10, $20, whatever it is, it does help us. So we're going to move on.
When it's combined, we can continue to do great stuff. So please give what you can.
And we need some new equipment and there's always a new surprise coming about needing to get this extra little piece or that little extra piece, but it's you folks that help us do that. I really appreciate that. We're going to move on to the next guest that's coming in. She's been on the show before, and she is coming back here because she's got an amazing project that she's working on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brandi Massey.
Hello.
Hi, Brandi.
How are you, Scott?
I'm doing well, Brandi. I'm glad that you could be here tonight and you could say hello to us.
Yes, I'm glad to be here.
Now you see, right before you, we had a Broadway producer.
I know. I'm a little nervous.
But look, she's still smiling and happy and enjoying. It's all good. Even under the current circumstances. And you're coming into this project that you're working on as the you're the power, you're the person that's producing, you're the person that's creating and putting it together.
Oh boy. Yeah,
exactly.
It's been a journey. I'm working on a project now, and it's called Jasper and Deadland, the virtual live production. So what we've done is we've combined a virtual experience along with live performance but using a whole off-Broadway production. And I tell you, Scott, it's just been a joy seeing so many departments. You have the orchestrators, you have the mixers, you have the virtual stage manager, you have the choreographers, and we all really are coming together to just make something very special for us right now in these times.
And this is very special. I mean, this is your ground. You know, you're treading new terrain. You're working on something that we all want to be creative. We all want to figure out how to keep the music out there and all be a part of something. And this is a nice, very nice project. Can you tell the audience a little bit about the story of Jasper and Deadland? Because the old timers like me, we're just learning about it because it's kind of a new thing. And
of course. So Jasper and Deadland is basically the story of Eurydice and Orpheus. We have your love couple who is Jasper, and we have Agnes. Jasper is a 17-year-old boy who has a best friend, Agnes, and Agnes goes off and he can't find her, and he goes to meet her on this cliff where they always meet. Two troubled teens from two different homes, you know, and then he falls off the cliff to find her, and he ends up in this whole new world, which is Deadland. So he's the live boy living in Deadland, and he has to go through 3 different gates. We have the 3-headed dog is represented. We have a glamorous drag queen called Amit, who he meets, and he has to make a deal with her to give him his heart. And then we end up in Elysium, where he actually meets my character, Eurydice, and she's telling him, you can make it, you can go on, and you will find your love, you will find Agnes, and which is the song that I'm gonna sing for you in a little while. And it's just a great love story. It's very campy, very upbeat, very joyous. But then with everything that's going on today, it brings you back to a certain reality and having you be comfortable in that reality.
And of course, the ancient Greeks that were all involved in setting up all of the myths and the stories that we still go back to and use would be thrilled, I think, with what you're working on.
Yes, we need it.
And it's being done in this day and age, exactly where the story, where our youth is very important and needs to be taken care of, because they are experiencing something that, is very different without having all of the retrospect of knowing about all the ups and downs in life. To have this kind of a down that early in your being here as a part of the humankind it's something that we need to help them through.
And that's what that's the audience that I wanted to capture, along with you watching this with your grandmother or your mother or your father. This is the kids really need it right now. Being an instructor at AMDA, the American Musical and Dramatic Academy, and having worked with my students, I see that this virtual world, that they are hungry and they are thirsty for the world of theater. And we're doing this for the Actors Fund, which is a great representation. They have done so much for me personally in my life, as so many other actors. And we want to give back to them to show the actors that we are here. We are still here. Hear our voice.
So let's hear your voice.
Okay.
All right. Don't forget to do that toggle, and I will go now back to the green room.
Okay.
To watch you perform.
All right. You will be burned, but you will see the sun. You will bear blisters on your feet as you run before you are done. Let there be life. Oh, let there be life. And a song for me has to feel the touch and say, you won't resist. You will be cheated, but you will be kissed. Let nothing resist. Please say you'll exist, and let there be light. And a song for me. There will be no more refusing yourself, no excusing yourself, no more delay. There's only a task to get on to, task to get on to the work of your day. So let it begin, and one day let it end, let it fall to pieces, and what's meant for women with life to lend and days to spend. Jasper, with your best friend Agnes, it's your chance for life, for life. Let there be life, let there be life. Take back my life, and you can be a son.
Love that. Toggle back for a moment. Folks, if you haven't, you've heard that voice before, maybe. Brandi, what are some of the shows that you've been in over the years
Oh, wow.
as a performer?
As a performer, I was in Jekyll and Hyde, which was my first Broadway show, and I understudied Lucy Ensemble. I was also in Caroline or Change back when it was at the Public, and then it came again with Tanya Pinkett as Radio 1. And I also was in Color Purple as the Celie Nettie cover, and Wicked as the understudy for Elphaba ensemble. And I also played Nala in The Lion King in the West End. Yeah.
You've got it all there, and you're one of those people that has the experience of being on the stage. Now you've gotten to the point now where you're going to be helping other people to perform, and the role that you're playing is brave.
Yeah, it's very brave, and it's something new for me. But when I talked to Ryan Scott Oliver, who is the composer / writer of this, he was like, "You have to sing this song. You have to sing the song." And I was like, "Well, if I'm going to do your work," and the writers, Hunter Foster and Ryan Scott Oliver, I was like, "I have to sing this song for you." And it's about growth and just expressing yourself and being happy in your own skin.
Which is really important. Again, that's the information that we give the kids. And hopefully, again, the idea of having all ages come together and watch this show together. We have another cast member from the show.
Yeah.
We're going to bring on now. Diana Huey is here with us.
Hello.
Hi, Diana.
Hello.
Hello.
Brandi.
Hi.
We're so thrilled to have you here because we want to, bring this message to people to see this performance. It's scheduled for October 9th. And I think that, Diana, you have had experiences in your life that have led you to be brave as well. Apparently you brought walls down and roles that you were cast in that were, that again, brought you to a point and brought people to a point where it's like, okay, this is what it's going to be for the future. And that means diversity and everybody figuring out how we work all of this together. I don't want to go any further without it. Let's hear you sing.
Great.
Another song from Jasper and Deadland.
Yes. And I just kind of want to set it up for just a second.
Go for it.
This is one of the characters explaining to Jasper the process of death, like what happens to you when you land in Deadland. So just so you guys can all be aware of what's going to happen when you end up in Deadland, I'm going to tell you.
I'm almost there. Don't worry.
Oh, no. All right. The forgetting. It happens in phases. It's a process. First, you die. As you fall from life to death, you fall into the left board the ferry. Pay your fare, and you think I had a thought, but you forgot. Just forgot. The first stage is the headaches. So it starts. Small details begin to blur till the person that you were seems so distant. Was that you? As each memory erases the photos of familiar faces, smudge and blot. But you don't care a lot. You'll forget you forgot. The second stage, you begin to forget others, your friends, your parents, and the third stage, you start speaking in Portuguese. No one knows why. Now, it isn't uncommon to try to stop it, to fight for your life, never to lose sight of your life. It's tragically normal to jot it down, to write all your life, gripping tight to your life. You make notes in a book, so to fight the forgetting, you might keep the best things and omit what's upsetting. But as days pass, you look in your book just to find that the book that you took serves on purpose to remind you of all of the people you'll never see again. Or even when they come, they'll end up just as dumb. And then the last stage, you forget yourself and suddenly you feel okay. At last, it stops and you toss the book for trash or you torch the book to ash just like they did, just like me. And you'll learn like other folk that life is just a joke, a trick of glass and smoke, a dream from which you
Thanks, Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, Diana. She's a leading lady, by the way. She forgot to tell you that. She plays Gretchen and Agnes.
Yeah. And shout out to the rest of your team as well. And Fraser Thomas, John Wall. But I mean, all this information available. We'll post this information as well for everybody. Just so people are aware, again, hold that date, October 9th.
8 o'clock.
This will be streaming on Broadway On Demand, which is part of our audience. Money is going to the Actors Fund, which is a very obviously very worthy and has helped everybody. It's helping everybody.
Yes, we're so excited and amped up for this opportunity, and we hope you guys stay tuned because there's going to be more.
And you're walking the walk and going new places, and that is
here we go.
Very exciting. Yeah, very exciting. So, Brandi, Diana, thank you for coming to bring a little bit of Jasper and Deadland to Piano Bar Live.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll keep an eye out, and we all have the date now. We know when to be expecting this production to go up again. It's part virtual. Well, it's all virtual, but part of it is going to be live streamed, and part of it is going to be recorded. It's going to be a mix of all of that, which is the new direction.
Right. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. So,
thank you, Tony.
There you go. Tony, come on, say hello quickly.
Oh, thank you so much. It's always good to see you both. Hey. That was awesome. It was awesome.
We are
I can't wait to
enjoying.
see more.
It was great to see you. Both
Thanks
of
for
you,
joining
thank
us.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your night. I know you're in the Poconos, Brandi. Breathe in that fresh air.
Fresh air, but work.
Oh, yes. All good. Lots of oxygen. All right.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Tony, we're at the point of the show where we're going to bring on our mystery guest. And he's an old favorite from the Piano Bars and an old favorite of Piano Bar Live. And we're thrilled to have him here with us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Hartman.
Who you calling old?
Well, me. You look fabulous, so don't worry. You look good. I love seeing pictures of you when you're incognito out in the amongst the masses, traveling,
Yes,
moving around. With
I was
shades
traveling this
and all.
weekend. Yes.
Yeah. So, Mark, pleasure to have you tonight here visiting with us. And one of the reasons I wanted you to be here tonight is because you've just brought back a project that it's been on about 3.5 year hiatus.
Something like that. This is the 4th incarnation of a show that I started in 2001, actually, called Late Breaking Stories. I did it 4 times. This is the 4th incarnation. The first time began on the first Friday in September of 2001, and we ran for quite some time. Got some nice notices about that, and then we were doing it at the Firebird Cafe, and then the Firebird unceremoniously closed. Well, then which happens. Then some producer named Scott Barbarino said to me, "Hey, you remember that show you used to do? That was really good. You want to do it at this club that I'm working at called Dylan's?" And we did it, and we ran for quite some time. It was lovely. We got some great notices, and then Dylan's closed.
It happens.
And then you called me back several years later and said, "Hey, remember that show you used to do?" Well, we didn't close the Iridium with it, but my travel schedule meant that we could only run it for a little while over there and a little bit at the Beachman. But yeah, we've been on a hiatus now for a couple of years, and I thought, leading up to this very consequential election, we should bring this thing back. So I'm doing it virtually on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Late Breaking Stories.
Late Breaking Stories. I'm having guests every week from around just people that I adore and people who I think their work should be seen, and to talk to them a bit and get a little bit of perspective on what they do in the world and how they do it and how their worldviews and their opinions shape the work that they do.
And you're the perfect person to do that because you are so knowledgeable about what's happening in the world, and then also what's happening in the theater and your connections to people. The show, the last one that we did that we had done at the Beachman, the Laurie Beachman,
right.
Was the first time that I heard Natalie Douglas, do the Nina Simone tune. That and it was an amazing experience. It was mind-bending for me because I had never really listened and heard it. It was an old tune. I knew it, but when she delivered, Mississippi, it was yeah, and those kind of moments come in the way that you structure these shows.
It's really true. I mean, as you know, doing it online is different than doing it live. So it's a very it's a very different kind of animal without that live audience. You know, we have to sort of script it and sculpt it a bit more, just in terms of what we know we're going to do and kind of how we're going to get to the moments. But I think it's pretty effective. The first 2 have been really fantastic. They've each been, each episode is, I'm splitting the proceeds with a different organization. The first was for the Trevor Project. The second was for the North Carolina AIDS Action Network. And this one coming up is going to be for the NAACP.
all of those organizations need help, especially during this time.
It's true.
Added visibility. And so we're at the end of the show. Thank you for joining us as a mystery.
Indeed.
And I appreciate the fact that you're going to play us out with a nice classic Great American Songbook tune. After all, we are Piano Bar Live.
Well, is that what you want? Because I changed my mind halfway through, and I have a different option.
You are
if you want
entitled
something
to
that's
change
a
your
little
mind.
on, do you want something classic, or do you want something on the on kind of the poppier side? Which would you like?
You know what? Let's do the poppier side.
All right, fine. You got
All
it.
right. We'll see you after the tune.
Fabulous. People are talking about people. I hear them whisper. You won't believe it. They think we're lovers, held undercover. But they keep saying we laugh just a little too loud. We stand just a little too close. We stare just a little too long. Maybe they're seeing something we don't, darling. Let's give them something to talk about. A little mystery to figure out. Let's give them something to talk about. How about love? I feel so foolish. I never noticed you'd act so nervous. Could you be falling for me? It took a rumor to make me wonder. Now I think we're going under. Thinking about you every day, dreaming about you every night, hoping that you feel the same way. Now that we know it, let's really show it, darling. Let's give them something to talk about. A little mystery to figure out. Let's give them something to talk about. How about love? Let's give them something to talk about. A little mystery to figure out. Let's give them something to talk about. How about love? Let's give them something to talk about. A little mystery to figure out. Let's give them something to talk about. How about love? Oh.
Friday nights, late breaking stories. I'll be there.
Facebook.com/late breaking stories. Couldn't be easier.
Perfect. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks,
Good
Scott.
to see you. Be well. You're down in North Carolina, is that right?
I am, when I'm not incognito traveling around the country.
I'm telling you, I see that. I love that. Good to see you, man. Have a great
Great to
night.
see you, Scott.
Enjoy the rest of the night, man.
Thanks so much. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tony, it's the end of the show.
It is indeed another one for the record books.
Have we found out exactly what the shank of the evening means?
I like to leave it a mystery, Scott. I need a little more mystery in my life.
So we've shown people a lot of projects that are happening. I hope that everybody out there is doing well, staying safe, being smart, and working on things to bring you to that point which can be happy.
It's time to make more joy. Time to make more joy.
Create, and a sense of humor is very important.
Yeah.
So keep that. So we have a show coming up next week where we're going to be visiting one of the clubs here in town that's not functioning downstairs right now, the Laurie Beachman, but is open upstairs. The West Bank Cafe is open, and they have Marty Millett, and I believe I saw KT Sullivan. They've moved the piano up to the front of the West Bank, and they do outdoor performance. So get over there. The food is excellent at West Bank, and catch some tunes. I know that Marty and Michael are there on Sundays, and we're going to have them as some of the guests. You just showed everybody the guests. I will be joined by I will be joined by Mr. Michael Kirk Lane, and he will be helping with me with the proceedings. We'll be meeting people from that world that is known as the Laurie Beachman. And that's an incredible group of people over there. They've been around for a very long time, and appreciate all of the entertainment and the quality that they've brought to our world, our cabaret and piano bar world. So with that note, I think we're at the end or the shank of the evening. Again, please support us however you can. And also you can do that by sharing the stream. Share the link to us here on Facebook or the link on YouTube with other people that are out there that you think would enjoy what you've seen. If you've enjoyed the show, Venmo and PayPal.
And let's get this party as big as possible. That's what the sharing is all about.
That's great. And that's truth. And all I could say is have a good night.
Night, everybody. See you next week.